Okay, many thanks for tuning in. I'd like to thank you for joining us on Channel Sports Sunday. This is Sunday. This is the segment we get to talk to you and keep you updated with what is going on in the world of football. My name is Eitayo Balogun. Junior, joining us in this segment as well are two guys that you've seen regularly in the studio. One you've not seen in a while because he had to take a trip to see Arsenal play at the Emirates Stadium. I'd like to welcome you, Larry Pinel. Good to see you in the studio after about 2 weeks. Glad to have you back.
Always a pleasure being here.
Hope you had a good trip.
Definitely.
Fantastic. And Bada Akintunde Bada is also in the studio. Good to have you in the studio this afternoon too.
It was fantastic to be here to talk football.
And we're going to start straight away talking football immediately, but I'm going to come to you, Larry Pinel. We'll talk about the NFF Congress that did take place Saturday, yesterday. Initially it was billed to take place. We saw that happen. Unfortunately, on Friday afternoon, a court came out in front play to injure asking the NFF Congress not to take place. But plaintiffs were Ogba and a couple of other people. Though, is it Ogba? You need to run that by me. But again, the NFF Congress took place. Some people are actually crying foul that this shouldn't have taken place. I mean, there's a court order in place. The implications for you.
There are no serious implications. Going by FIFA regulations, FIFA statutes, you cannot take ordinary matter to regular football courts. If you need to go to court.
I believe you need to respect the laws of the land.
Oh, definitely. But the laws of the land do not apply to football as it were. If you need to talk football, if you need to take football for legal jurisdiction to apply to football, you need to go through the right channel, and the right channel will be the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which is CAS. So in this instance, I don't think it applies. Even if you are going to take the matter to CAF, I beg your pardon, to FIFA eventually, FIFA will still rule that you should withdraw that case from court as a way. But interestingly, what happened yesterday in Warri was that the NFF Congress actually held, and in 10 days' time, the elections will hold to actually determine who will be the next president of the Nigerian Football Federation. And as it stands, you have about 8, 9, 10 contenders, so to speak. Even Chris Giwa's case that went all the way to FIFA, and then the appeal went all the way to CAS, Arbitration for Sports, was eventually turned down. So as it stands, you have about 8 contestants for the next NFF president.
That's right. Now come the 30th of September, that's when the election will take place. This looks like a positive step in the right direction for us.
Oh, well, finally, there seems to be a headway. Nigerian football can't be, in comatose because of, the different conflicting interests. So, like Larry rightly said, FIFA's statutes are very, very clear. You can't take football matters to a civil court. If you have any grievances, you've got to, resolve them the way FIFA understands. And I feel that the earlier we sorted out this issue of who's president, who's not in charge, the better for our football. Yeah. We saw, what toll it took on the on-field, matters right. In the games against Congo and South Africa.
What we have on live going on right now is the Congress that taking place in Warri, Delta State. It's a full house. I mean, the 44 delegates obviously present, and we were on hand talking about Channel Sports to actually cover proceedings. I mean, it's good to actually see this. It's been lacking from us for a very long time.
I mean, that man not being in the last Congress where they held an election was the reason why FIFA frowned at the results of the election. So for the fact that everyone is there, which is exactly what FIFA was saying, get every body present, let every interest be represented. End of day, if the elections hold, nobody would say or feel hard done by and say, I was prevented from even having a fair chance, to have a go at this. So I feel that, like you said, it's a fantastic step in the right direction. And Nigerians, I know, would be heaving a sigh of relief eventually when these elections hold and conclusively we put to bed all of this matters arising from a post.
And we can go past this stage. I mean, really, we've been deliberating on these issues for a very long time. Well, that said, 30th of September, that's when the election will take place. A committee has been put in place, and we hope that they do everything possible to give us new leadership by the 30th of September. We'll continue to track that. Channel Sports on Sunday, as well as Channel Sports. We'll make sure we keep you updated. Having said that, quickly, let's take a look at the MPFL games will take place. Whatever is going on with the NFF is not affecting the MPFL as it stands right now. Games will take place today. We'll see Dolphin play host to Gombe United. Other fixtures, El Kanemi will take on Atlant, Rangers will take on Warri Wolves, Sunshine Stars will take on Abia Warriors, Kano Pillars will play Aqua United, Giwa will play Taraba FC, Enugu Rangers will Warri Wolves, like I said earlier. Nembe City will play host to Lobby Stars. Other fixtures, we'll see Sunshine Stars take on Abia Warriors. Kaduna United will take on Crown FC. Nassau United will take on Sharks. And Dolphins will play Gombe United. That's what it is, Larry Pinel. The league is getting interesting. Top 4 Kano Pillars, Nasarawa, Enyimba, Abia, and Warri Wolves. The league is kind of taking shape for me. Would you agree?
Definitely, it is. And midweek, don't forget that Kano Pillars actually went to Taraba to pick up a draw. Beautiful result, 1-1 draw they got away. And as it stands right now, one of the games to actually watch today will be the game Enyimba versus Bayelsa United. Enyimba, they haven't considered a goal in that Aba International Stadium since March 27th, when Abia Warriors actually defeated them in that stadium. And as it stands, Enyimba actually lost in midweek, meaning Kano Pillars have a 4-point lead over Enyimba. Bayelsa, blazing on all guns, scored. Frank Gariva scored a hat-trick for them over Nimbe in the Bayelsa derby, in Benin in midweek. So as it stands right now, you would expect that the likes of Peter Ibimobiwe, who also plays for Bayelsa United, will come to Enyimba to try to see if they can actually score a goal. But as it stands, I think Enyimba will get all 3 points and close the gap on Kano Pillars.
All right, well, looking closely, we're proceeding closely. Level of play at the MPFL, Bada has run up with the local scene. Are you satisfied? I mean, the highest goal scorer also going with 40 goals. This guy got an invitation to the Super Eagles to play against South Africa. Yes. I almost got a goal too. Are you satisfied with the level of play, considering what we've had off and on the pitch with the NFF issues?
Well, I think the quality of football has been very, very flattering. Flattering in the sense that, judging by the chaos, the attendant chaos, with the organization of the league, the football is super complimentary. I mean, if you take our time to watch these games, they are really super exciting stuff, which obviously can be helped by better organization, especially the quality of pitches. Sometimes I look at those games and I'm like, if only, we had the sort of surfaces that, we see, in South Africa, for instance. Nigerian football is a great advertisement for African football, or should be, actually. Unfortunately, the organization is still letting it down. But in terms of quality of play and the characters involved, the individuals that are involved, Bolaon Salami showed a glimpse of what, followers of the league enjoy in that game against Congo when, he practically hauled us back into the game from 3-1 down at 3-2, and we almost not to draw.
Yep. All right, take a look at the log as it stands. Kano Pillars are on top with 44 points. Second place, we have Nasarawa United also with 41 points. Enyimba occupy third spot. Abia Warriors are in fourth. Warriors occupy fifth. That's what it is. Bottom of the table, we have Taraba, Gombe, Crown, Kaduna, and Nimbe City. Some people will be tempted. They might be tempted to say that Nimbe City are all done and dusted for relegation. Well, we still have a few more games to go. So about 14 more games to go, or about 8 more games. 8 more games to go to the end of the season, and I will know if Nimbe City will actually get relegated. That's what it is. We'll take a trip straight to the EPL and tell you what did happen at the EPL yesterday. So many games. Manchester United get to play today, but Newcastle, focus will be on Newcastle. He struggled. He came from a goal down, 2 goals down, and eventually secured a 2-2 draw against opposition. Other scorelines, we saw Aston Villa play 0-3 with Arsenal. Newcastle, like I did say, played 2-2 with Hull City. Swansea lost the man and lost the game, 0-1 Southampton. QPR played 2-2 Stoke City. Burnley played a 0-0 game with Sunderland, and West Ham surprisingly defeated Liverpool 3-1.
Well, for me, the best game I saw yesterday has got to be Newcastle against Hull. Had everything in it, spectacular goals. It was Nikica Jelavic, got it started with an acrobatic stunner. Had everything, poise, composure, quality. An overhead kick that was absolutely unstoppable. And when Hull went 2-0 up, you thought it was done and dusted, and probably it will be the last game for under fire Alan Pardew. But what did he do? He threw on a man. The medical staff had warned him not to play. Senegalese Papis Demba Cisse, who even before he got injured, hadn't been in the best of forms for Newcastle. But what did he do? He stepped up to the plate and delivered the 2 goals that maybe have bought Alan Pardew a couple more games in charge. The Arsenal game wasn't bad as well. I thought Arsenal didn't start very, very confidently. Aston Villa actually got a couple opportunities to have scored. Clark will be kicking himself for not taking one of those when, I thought we could have done better with his header. But in a crazy, 3-minute spell, Arsenal scored 3 goals and the game was effectively over. The second half was a ball fest. Aston Villa couldn't go for it. Arsenal were just knocking the ball all over the place. And a couple of good games as well.
And I'm going to come to you. Let's talk a little bit more about that game, Aston Villa, Arsenal. Going to that game, Aston Villa were placed second. I mean, they hadn't scored many goals, but they hadn't considered as many goals as well. And you would think that going into that game against Arsenal, they probably would be a lot more solid. against opposition like Arsenal. They tried to stifle the midfield a little bit, but loss of concentration. 3 minutes, like Bada said, and they considered 3 goals in quick succession. I haven't said that the coach has actually come out to say, Lambert has come out to say that there was a virus in camp. I think that's nonsense, though. But I think commendation should be given to Arsenal with the way they played in the first half against Aston Villa.
Wenger showed that he's not so stubborn after all. What did he do? He restored Callum Chambers to right back, Debuchy injured, and he brought in Kieran Gibbs to play for Nacho Monreal. And then he restored Ozil, in front of the midfield, just behind Danny Welbeck. And you could see the telepathic relationship between Ozil and Welbeck, particularly for the second goal. You could see the movement of Welbeck for that second goal. He ran off the back of Ozil and went directly into the box, expecting that Ozil would do something. Ozil had a fantastic game himself yesterday, and it begs the question again that Ozil's best position, is it just behind the striker or on the left on the left-hand side where Wenger usually deploys him? I think this is where Ozil will this is where you get the best of Ozil, when he plays from the center of the park, and he can hide his little frame of the last defender, which was exactly what he did against Philip Senderos. But this movement again, you see where Welbeck is. He runs directly, anticipating the cross of Ozil, and he buried that, reminiscent of the goal he scored against Switzerland. I think by the time all of these boys gel together, Arsenal may actually get to, maybe not win the UCL per se. Hopefully, maybe win a trophy. It will be hard for these boys to actually win the UCL.
Okay.
Judging by the quality.
You're talking about the UEFA Champions League.
Judging by the quality of the guys actually in the Champions League. But you would expect that they will kick on from here. If Arsenal gets into their stride, they are essentially unplayable. They had 824 passes yesterday. I mean, that's only bettered by Barcelona when Barcelona was Barcelona.